Guys, today is Sunday. I hope everyone's day is off to an amazing start. Thanks so much for stopping in today, guys, on this Sunday morning. And yes, I am still nasally as, guys, this sinus infection, I think we're on the tail end of it though, but it has not been a great journey, all right? The thing that kind of, I don't know, really makes my sinus infections just so terrible when I get them is that I can't really take anything for them. The one time I took something for a sinus infection, my doctor prescribed to me some years ago was some derivative of penicillin. I did not know that I was allergic to penicillin. And so I ended up in the hospital. So now I can't really take anything. So they just take forever. My sinus infections just take forever, you know, to fade away. But I think I'm just about done with it. So please, once again, excuse the nasaliness. But today, this Sunday morning, I want to kind of stop in and chat a little bit about how we can just really improve not only the outer portion of our bodies, our looks as we age, but also taking care of the inside. All right, and so we're just going to go ahead and hop right in. And so the first thing, guys, that I want to kind of talk about as we enter into our 40s, our 50s and beyond is going to be making sure that we take care of our teeth. Okay, I tell you, as a woman, there is nothing that is more detracting to our appearance as we start to talk to people. It's going to be our smile, our teeth. And I know everyone cannot run out and get braces. I will be donning some braces here in a few weeks. They are expensive, okay? And this is our second to go around. You know, we had to pay for Chase's braces and now we're paying for mine. So I understand that there is some cost involved with, you know, making sure our teeth are straight. So I'm going to bypass that. But I will say, if you're spending money on purses and shoes and jewelry and even vacations, and you know that you have a smile that needs some improving on, we may want to kind of focus on taking care of our smile and maybe letting some of the purses go for this particular year or an upcoming year so that we can make sure we are looking our absolute best. So I really won't focus on the whole straightening aspect of our teeth, but rather the whole brightening our smile. Again, brightening the smiles can be expensive, and I want to say I may have touched on this one maybe in our last little aging chat, but if you cannot afford the expensive gels, you guys know, if you grew up like me and you didn't have a whole lot of money running around, there was always some peroxide and some Arm & Hammer baking soda. Even now, guys, when I can actually afford to get the gels, for me, I feel that nothing works as best as a little slurry of baking soda and peroxide. It does wonders for the teeth. I love coffee. I love coffee. I love a good cup of coffee. But coffee is not really friendly to the enamel on our teeth, and so what I find myself doing at least 2 or 3 times a week is mixing up a little slurry of the baking soda and the peroxide and taking care of my smile. I will say though, the peroxide and mixture of the baking soda, it will make your teeth a little bit sensitive. Right after you use that, you do not want to go and drink a hot cup of coffee or indulge in a, you know, cold bowl of ice cream, because you might feel it. Okay, I know that I do. I feel it right afterwards. So I do try to wait a few hours before I drink anything hot or eat anything too cold after taking care, you know, of my smile. But this is just something that we're going to have to do. I know that I touched on the whole smoking aspect in our previous little aging chat. Smoking is going to stain your teeth as well. So like I said then, I'll say it again now, if you are smoking, you really want to go ahead and try to kick that habit. I'm not telling anybody to give up the coffee because I'm not giving up mine, but we do have to go ahead and take care of our teeth so that they are as pearly white for as long as possible. The next thing that we can do as women, guys, as we start to age, you know, when you say start to age, it can sound like a bad thing, but if you're not aging, you know the alternative to that, right? You know, we're about 6 feet under, so we're gonna age. So, but what I want to do and share with you are the tips that are helping me to, I think, age a little bit more graceful. I am on the closer spectrum of 50. Yes, I'm in my 40s, but I'm closer to 50, all right? But so what I am doing to help me look as best as I can as I enter into my 50s, guys, I want to share those things with you as well. So we just talked about the teeth. The next thing, guys, that we want to do as we start to age gracefully is to incorporate some weight lifting. Yes, I know that all of you ladies are working out 3, 4, 5 times a week. That is great. But what we also have to do, guys, is lift those weights. Now, there is the little stereotype or the scare that as women, as we lift weights, we're going to bulk up and start to look like men. Guys, that is a myth, okay? You're not going to start to look like a man, all right? It's all going to depend on how heavy you lift and how much of those, I think, protein supplements that we put into our bodies. If we're not getting ready to do a bodybuilding competition, then you're not going to bulk up like a man because we're not incorporating all of those different hormones into our bodies. So you don't have to worry about that. So what I like to do, I bench press. I make sure I'm doing some work for my back. I have a huge back, but if I don't work my back, it's just going to get really, really fatty and mushy. So I make sure that I am incorporating some back exercises. For those of us who have the necks that are starting to look kind of gobbly or turkey chicken neck-ish, if that is even a word, bench pressing is going to be great for you. What is that one? Oh my gosh. Upright rows. When you hold the weights and you pull it up, that is really going to help with your neck. You're going to want to do some push-ups. Workouts like that where you really are incorporating some strength training, it's really going to help keep a strong face. You know, as we age, everything just seems to want to go south. You don't want your neck and your face to go down south, okay? So lifting weights, I tend to lift a little bit heavier because, I don't know, I just like it. It makes me feel good. Gets those endorphins going after I, you know, do a couple of sets of workouts. And with every day that I work out, I do some sort of strength training. I do not leave it out, but it's really going to help, like I said, improve the way your neck starts to hang. It's going to help keep everything tight in your face, believe it or not. For those of us who have the little jiggly skin on our arms, lifting your weights, doing your bicep curls, your tricep curls, it's really, really, really going to help to improve the sagging skin. All right, and so speaking of skin, if you are not incorporating some type of glycolic in some form into your skincare regimen, guys, you really want to do that as we age. The glycolic, whether it's in the form of a cleanser here, a toning solution here, and this bottle here has seen better days. I actually took this with me to Europe, and it got beat up a bit. So I have it here, some glycolic in the form of a cleanser. I have it here in the form of a toning solution, and I have some glycolic here in the form of a peel. So there are several ways that you can incorporate glycolic into your skincare routine. Now, if you are not doing that, guys, when you're washing your face and when you're putting on the cleansers that you are using, it's really not helping to get rid of that layer of dead skin. All right, our body is a living thing. Skin is a living organism. So it's going to go through a cycle where it's going to be living and thriving, and then those cells are going to die off and hopefully get replenished with newer cells. However, if you are not, like I said, incorporating the glycolic into your skincare routine, you're just going to have layers upon layers upon layers of dead skin there. Now, I know when I joke with some of my friends and, you know, we're doing things that we should not be doing and talking about how some of our classmates from back in the day are aging. You know, I know we all do it. Some of them, you know, sometimes some of us can be looking like a hard 40 or a hard 50. You don't want to look like you are living life like you're living in a coal mine. And that is because if your skin is looking that way, you're not removing those layers, okay? And so with anything, the glycolic comes in several different levels, all right? I would suggest you start off with something, maybe a 10 or 15%, okay? I have it here in a 7% in this ordinary toning solution, and I also have it here in a 30% here in the peel. Now, when you start getting beyond 15%, I would suggest you go over and have a chat with your dermatologist. Also in our 40s, 50s, and beyond, if you are not seeing a dermatologist on a regular basis, maybe, you know, every 6 months to a year, you really want to see if you can work that into your budget. I know sometimes our insurance company will cover certain parts of that, but I know insurance companies can be finicky. But if your insurance company is one of those where they don't want to cover your visit, I will tell you that I have friends who they see a dermatologist and it's not terribly expensive. So just like you should be seeing your primary care physician every year, getting your mammograms every year, your eye exams every year, you want to make sure you're having someone take a look at your skin every year as well. I know as women of color, we will tend to have issues with moles. And so we want to make sure that none of those moles are cancerous. And so I said all that to say, go to your dermatologist and make sure you are using the right level of the glycolic in whatever form that you are using it. I think 10 to 15% is pretty safe to start out with, and that you can buy those from Amazon. All these purchases right here were made via Amazon, but as you start to get a little bit higher in the concentration of the glycolic, you want to make sure you are checking in with your dermatologist and make sure you're not, you know, damaging or burning your skin. But I absolutely recommend the glycolic in whatever form you can get your hands on, because like I said, you don't want to look like a hard 40 or a hard 50 or a hard 60. You want to age gracefully, and you need to remove those dead layers of skin. And I'll also throw in here, make sure you are using some type of loofah or exfoliant on your face as well. It's really going to help to slough off all of that dead skin. That sounds so gross, but it's going to help to remove all of that dead skin so that vibrant, youthful you can come forward. All right, so this next one is so cliche. It's so old. It's been said so many times, but it's so true, guys. We are what we eat. As much as I love croissants, I don't want to walk around looking like all the striations and bumps and lumps and curves of a croissant. So I don't eat them every day. All right, I also love a good slice of cake, okay? But I don't want all the layers that come with cake and all the sugar, because it's going to show up. So what I try to do, especially now here, is like I said, I'm moving closer to that 50 mark. I try to save those items for my cheat days, okay? Or so if I do have some cake or pie or really indulgent dessert, I'll try to get Eric to share the dessert with me or whatever it is that I'm eating, because, you know, if we're gonna go down this road of sugary or high fat foods, we're gonna go down it together, right? I'm not gonna be the only one out here looking chunky, but I wish I had the metabolism and just a wee bit of the testosterone that the men have, because guys, let me know if you feel this way. If, you know, those of you who are married or in relationships with men, they can keep that weight off like nobody's business. I just envy them so much. But so as women, we have to be a little bit more cognizant of what we are eating, and this is going to go hand in hand with the exercising and making sure we're lifting those weights so that we can kind of keep the scales kind of balanced when it comes to, you know, as it relates to how the men in our lives look and how we look. You know, I've said before that a lot of times when I'm out in the streets shopping or doing whatever, I do kind of people watch. I love it. And what is so, I don't know, so frustrating to me is the fact that the women, you know, we're a lot more round, and then the men, they're able to keep the weight off. You can tell the age, you know, I'm not talking about little teenagers or people in college, but I'm looking at people my age, and you see them as couples walking down the street or coming into a restaurant, and it's like, the woman, she's gorgeous, but you can tell she's in that struggle trying to keep that weight off, whereas the man, they'll be sitting and they'll be eating the exact same thing, but he's not wearing his food. So, said all that to say, ladies, we can't eat everything they eat. We're going to have to share some of these desserts with these men, and we're going to have to save that bread, those croissants, for those cheat days. We sleep. Again, just like with the you are what you eat sleep, we need it. We have to get our rest. So for those of us who like to stay up at night thinking about everything that didn't go right that day and everything that we have to do the next day, guys, we are going to have to let it go. Stop all of the worrying. Nothing is going to get resolved as you lay there worrying about it. You know, let go, let God. All right? That whatever's going on in your life that's keeping you up at night, that's not, I'm pretty sure, the worst thing that has happened to you, and it's not going to be anything that you won't be able to deal with down the road. So you got to kind of let go, pick and choose your battles, and get your sleep in. If you are like me, I am one of those people who will wake up in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm just up on Instagram. Cannot go to sleep, or I'm watching TV. What I suggest you do is don't lay there in your misery. If there's something bothering you, then go ahead and get up. Hop on Instagram, read a book, watch TV, so that you're not sitting there wallowing in whatever it is that's bothering you. But if you can, the next day, try to get you in a nap. You don't want to walk around with the red, sleepy eyes and the bags. And yes, I have both of those today as I'm battling this sinus infection. And I will say too, some of us, it's just, we are predisposed to have more fine lines than others, and it is what it is. But we don't want to compound the issue by not getting in our Z's. So if you have to drink some, you know, nice chamomile tea before you go to bed, or if you have to, you know, completely shut off all of your electronics maybe an hour or two before you go to bed to kind of decompress, you really want to do that, because you want to be as fresh and as vibrant as you can be, you know, the following day. Well, that is it, guys. That's gonna do it. Those are the little things that I am really trying to incorporate in my life as I age and try to age gracefully. Please don't be stingy. Drop down in the comments and share with us what it is you are doing that is really helping you to age gracefully. All right, really appreciate you guys stopping in today. Cannot thank you guys enough for the support and putting up with all of the nasaliness. All right, guys, thanks again. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.